Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I thought today that I would, well, that's a bit straight to the point, isn't it? I thought I would talk to you about some children's books that I think are absolutely amazing and that are actually reasonably priced on Amazon, which you may or may not consider potentially buying your children for Christmas or put in your classroom. So I will leave all links to any books I mention down below, and I'll have some pictures up on the screen while I'm talking so you know which ones I'm talking about. The first book I will be talking about today is Minosaur. Minosaur is a really sweet book all about sharing and the benefits of sharing and what can happen if you don't share. So Minosaur is a very selfish dinosaur who snatches from others and doesn't share. He is convinced everything is his, hence the word Minosaur. He keeps saying mine, mine, mine. He soon finds himself very lonely as the other dinosaurs don't want to play with him because he snatches their food, their toys, and he's just not a very nice dinosaur. So this book is perfect for young readers. It kind of draws them in and makes them wonder, what will it take for Minosaur to realise that all he wants really is friends, and will the other dinosaurs let him back in after his attempt at apologising? So Minosaur by Sudipta Baden-Colin. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, but that's actually on Amazon for only £2.30, so that's a really nice book. I would recommend. Again, all links will be down below for every single book I mention in this video. My second book is one I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. It's Elmer the Elephant by David McKee. So Elmer is a very fluorescent, bright neon patched elephant who really stands out compared to all the other elephants that are just plain grey. And sadly, the other elephants laugh at him for his differences, and so Elmer, bless him, he tries to disguise himself as looking all grey, and it's a really good book for younger readers to try and understand that being different is okay and being different should be embraced. This is also one of those books that could be applied to Key Stage 2, maybe in a more written reflection, and it's a good way to introduce concepts such as self-acceptance and illustrate how the words and actions you do can actually impact other people and their moods. Which leads me nicely onto my third one actually. This is called Have You Filled a Bucket Today by Carol McLeod. This concept of filling and dipping buckets is something that I'd never personally heard of until my current school placement, but it's actually a really nice figurative analogy for mental health and well-being. So basically this whole book is just a way of encouraging children to be kind to everyone and realise that how they talk to people can actually affect them positively or negatively. So choose your words wisely, and it's really just encouraging positive behaviour towards others. So on World Mental Health Day just gone, I actually used this concept of bucket filling and bucket dipping to explain to my Year 4 class what mental health means, because they had already heard of this concept, but obviously they know that we don't all have buckets. But it was a really good way for them to understand the consequences our actions and what we say can have on others. And actually what I did is then I gave some scenarios and said, do you think that this would be good for the mental health of the person receiving it, and would it be good for the person giving it? The next book I would like to show you, and I actually have it here. I don't have many children's books here since I moved out of my family home, but one I do have is Something Special by David McPhill. It's quite an old book. I remember reading this as a child, but it's really lovely. It's got some really adorable pictures. So basically this is Sam. And everyone in Sam's family has a talent. They can either play the piano, they are either amazing cooks, they can sing, they're good at sports, that kind of thing. And Sam, bless him, he tries to fit in and he tries to do a talent like somebody else. So he has a go at playing the piano, he has a go at cooking, and he just can't get the knack of it. But actually, it's just a matter of time before he finds his own talent, and that's the exciting part of the book, to find out what that talent is. And actually, the moral of the story is that you don't have to be the same as everyone else, and you don't have to have the same talent as everyone else, but everyone is good at something. And I think that's a really important message, especially in the classroom, where we often see and reward those people who are really good at writing or really good at mathematics. But actually, it's good to acknowledge all different types of talents. You know, there's sport, there's music, there's singing, there's acting. All of these different things can sometimes be overlooked. So I think this is a really nice book. Something Special by David McPhil. My last book for Key Stage 1 is a book called Oi Frog by Kess Gray and Jim Field. So this doesn't necessarily have a moral like all the other stories that I was talking about, but academically I think it's great to read in reception or even younger. Just read it to your children. Basically, it's a brilliant use of rhyming words, and it has different lines, so I'll show you quickly. So, cats sit on mats, hares sit on chairs, mules sit on stools, and gophers sit on sofas, but frog does not want to sit on a log. So, obviously, lots of those spellings are different, but children can hear the similarities in the endings of the words. And on a subject enhancement day that I went to, they were actually reading this to the reception class while I was observing. So I thought that was really nice. I hadn't heard of the book before. I assume it's fairly new-ish. So I think that's really, really good, even just for children to hear those differences. So I would recommend that as my last book for Key Stage 1. Now for the Key Stage 2 books. I'm actually really excited to introduce this book. My Twitter feed, which is just full of teachers and educators, has gone slightly crazy over this book. I keep seeing it over and over, and just researching about it, actually I found out that it's won so many awards, including the Blue Peter Book Award 2019. So really, really worth looking into this one. This book is called The Boy at the Back of the Class by Anjali Ralph. Again, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but it's a really heartwarming book about an empty seat at the back of the class, and suddenly there's this boy one day who you know, fills that seat. He joins the class and he's called Ahmed, and he's very, very quiet. People don't really know much about him, and then some children in the class decide to actually talk to him and find things out about him, and actually he's a refugee who's run away from war. And of course, in this day and age, sadly, it's a concept that we hear more and more of in the news, but a lot of children still don't really know about it. So this is such a good book to let them read and explore the concept themselves and what these children might be going through. These three children, Josie, Michael and Tom, then decide to find out more about him and try and help him, and actually they end up coming up with a plan. Yeah, so a really, really brilliant book. It's not very often that the protagonist of a book is a refugee, or that a book for children covers such in-depth and prominent topics in society. So this is a really, really good one. It's currently in sale. I think it's £5 something on Amazon, but I went to Waterstones the other day and it's much more expensive there. So yes, I would strongly recommend this one. Another book that I'd like to introduce to you is a book called Wonder. Now, there is actually a film that came out a few years ago. I remember seeing it myself, and it's all about this boy called August. Now, he was homeschooled, he hasn't got many friends, he hasn't got much experience with school at all. But when it comes to middle school, he has to suddenly attend. Now, there is something about August he is kind of embarrassed about. He doesn't like to show it, and he feels that a lot of children might find him weird and not accept him because of this. He has a face abnormality that is very obvious, and that he fears a lot of people are scared of him because of it. But he has a real desire for people to understand that actually he just does ordinary things, and he likes doing the same things as other people his age, so he's 10, other people his age like to do. So the whole book is kind of exploring whether he will be accepted, and well, I think the fact I'm smiling kind of says it all. He does end up being accepted, and it's a really, really heartwarming book as well as film. And again, it's kind of like that Elmer book. It's all about accepting people for who they are and actually embracing difference, because it's not always a bad thing. This is actually, I was surprised by how cheap this was on Amazon actually. It's only £3.99 down from £7.99, and I think there's coffees in Costa that are more expensive than that, so I think that's a really, really good one to add to your classroom or your home, obviously. My last book for Key Stage 2, and I could go on for ages, so I feel like it's good to end it here on an amazing young girl, is Greta Thunberg's book, No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference. And I think that message, that title in itself is super important to tell children. Children actually, and we can be surprised, they can get very, very anxious about things that are out of their control. And just having a book that empowers them to say that you can make a change even at an early age is absolutely amazing. So this book is it's a bestseller on Amazon. It's absolutely amazing. It's only £2.99. It is full of speeches that she has made across Europe, speeches that she has given to the UN, and really teaches us how we need to wake up to the planet, take responsibility for what we are doing, and make a change. And who best to teach that message to, and who best to empower than the youngest generation, who potentially can make a difference if we have loads of little Gretas out there. So that is a book fairly close to me that I'm really passionate about. There is loads that mention her in it. There are loads of different books that she has kind of written, or biographies about her, but this is one written by her, so that's why I thought I would recommend that one. Again, this is one of those videos that is a little bit all over the place, but it's my thoughts kind of just coming out to you on video, and I get really excited about empowering young people and making change, and self-acceptance, mental health, all that kind of stuff. I'm super passionate about. So thank you so much for listening and watching. I really hope to see you soon. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, please comment, or please comment any books that you would recommend. I would love to have a kind of list going down in the comments. That would be amazing. And subscribe if you would like to see more videos from me. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.